So I just cleared these onions where I was going to put carrots, and these are some onion seeds that I sowed for autumn onions last year, and I ran out of space, so I just plonked them in somewhere, and you can see they have made some lovely salad onions, so we will take those home. That's a nice little treat. Gosh, it's a lovely bright sunny day, and this is the patch where I'm going to put my carrots. I've partly prepped it, but I need to finish prepping it, so that's one of my jobs for today, is to prep this space for the carrots. So I've started to put some compost down here where I was going to put the carrots, but I think it's just a bit too coarse for the carrots to sow into. There's two things I'm not very successful with on the allotment, and that's sowing carrots in the ground and Swedes. So this year I was going to try to succeed at putting carrots in the ground. So I've decided along this patch here where I'm going to put the carrot seeds, so along that bit I'm actually going to put some bulk compost, which is much finer, and sow the carrot seeds into that. So I shall do that now. I haven't got a lot, but the allotment shop is open, so I shall get a bag or two for them and put that down. So that's the bed prepped. I think I can get 3 rows of carrots in here, but I think today I'm just going to put 2 rows in, and I'm going to water the bed first before putting the carrot seeds in, because one of the biggest problems with carrots, other than trying to grow straight ones and carrot fly, is getting them to germinate, which shouldn't be too much of a problem now because the soil is very damp, but I'm taking extra special care in growing my carrots this year because I'm determined that I'm going to get some. So I'm in the shed and just looking at the carrots that I've brought down with me, and early Nates 2 and Amsterdam forcing are early carrots, so I think I'll put some of those in first and leave the sweet candle for a week or 2 and then put those in as my 3rd row. The other thing is to sow thinly, because you don't really want to be thinning around the carrot fly, because once they get in they'll ruin your carrots. So I'm going to try my best to sow thinly. It's not an easy thing to do because you just want to bung a load of carrots in, but I will learn my lesson because they won't grow as well. Anyway, we're going to give it a go with these 2 varieties first off. So I wanted to show you something really. So this is Thompson & Morgan, and these are early Nates 2. They're both early Nates 2, although the pictures are very different in terms of the carrots. I'm just going to try and swap hands. So this packet says very, very early cropping. So if you see on this packet, you can sow under glass from January to February and then sow in the ground from March onwards. But this packet that said very early sowing, you can't plant until May, or just after mid-May to June. And yet it's the same carrot from the same company, so you just need to be very careful about the instructions on the backs of packs. You can't always believe them. But I know that these carrots are early and I can sow them now. So I've put in 2 rows of carrots after I watered it, and now I'm cutting these compost bags in half just to cover over and weight down. That will warm the soil and also keep the carrot seeds moist under there, and hopefully then they will germinate. So that's the carrots done. I split open some compost bags and put over the top just to keep them damp, and the wind was blowing a lot, so I just put some of these wire meshes on down just to weight it down so the plastic is in contact with the soil. So I will leave it for about 3 or 4 days and have a look. As soon as I see any of the carrot seeds germinating, I take all of this off, and fingers crossed we will have carrots this year. So here are some summer leeks or early cropping leeks. These are called nipper, and I put them in towards the end of January, and I'm going to put them in the ground now so that we have some summer leeks. Oh, it's got a bit breezy. So we have some summer leeks, and they're great on the barbecue, and also if you want a bit of a casserole or something, sort of end of July, August time. They're just delicious, really. Yep, so I'm going to pop those in now. So I've done the holes. They're about 6 to 8 inches apart. So these are the cells I've popped them in. There's about 4 or 5 per cell. So I just pop them out, take the cell and just drop it into the hole and give a little firm. So I've given these a good water just beforehand because I don't think we've got any rain coming. So just pop them out, put them in the hole, a little firm in, and that's done. This is a very quick way of planting. So there's a row of early leeks are in now. Nipper, ready for a nice summer treat. So I planted some lettuces all the way down here, 2 rows, and interplanted with a few spring onions, and I'm just covering it with this fleece just because I haven't hardened the plants off. I've taken them straight out the greenhouse and put them in. It's going to be some warm days in the next couple of days, then it will get cold, so this will protect it from the wind until they get established. And I'll leave this off just while I'm down on the allotment so it can get some air. I'm planting my shallots out, and I think they're called red sun, and I'm planting them along here. It's a beautiful sunny day. Nice to have some sun for a few days before it gets a bit chilly again. But I'm just moving the compost a little and then picking up one of these. I'm testing it to make sure it's firm, popping it in the hole, firm it down, and that's it. And then I'm leaving about 4 to 6 inches in between, so the same thing again, and then popping it in the soil. And I shall do the rest of this row, and I could probably get one more row in if I needed it. That's 2 rows of wonderful shallots in, and I look forward to them germinating, settling down, and they've always grown well for me. I might try something different next year. And next to it is the garlic that's coming up really well, so I'm really pleased about that. So I've got some chard here that was planted last year, It will go to seed once it starts to get hot, but it should give us a little crop. And what I will do is just go down the rows and take off any sort of damaged leaves, just to clean up all the plants and see how it goes. Hopefully we should get at least 1 or 2 pickings from this patch before they have to be lifted. These are the main crop onions in. We popped those in yesterday. There's 2 rows here and 2 rows in here of the Roscoe and the other one, which I can't remember, but I'll put it up on the screen. And I put these cages over the top just to stop the birds pulling them out until they've had a chance to root. I've got a few onions left over from that planting yesterday, and these are the varieties, Rose of Roscoe and Centuro. So I've got to find a little space to put those in or give them away to another plot holder. We will see. These are the onions I planted about a week or so ago, and I've interplanted them with some little gems, which will not take long until they're ready, and I'll take them out as whole lettuces. But there's still some space in here, so what I will do is just make a small indentation. Like I'm going to sow 3 radish seeds, and I've got, what have I got here? So I've got some white icicles, and I tried those for the first time last year, and they're really, really nice. And I'm not a great radish fan, by the way. And some English breakfast, very popular. What I discovered was I actually like them better roasted, cooked. So we've been roasting them, although we have chopped them up a bit for salads, but that's not my favourite way of eating them. So I'm just going to finish, there's probably about 2 rows worth of these radishes that I'm going to pop in and then give a water to. And I'm just planting them where you see in between the 2 sets of onions, just in the middle there. So I'll do that all the way along this row and this front row. So I've put 3 seeds in each indentation. I think you can just about see them there, and I shall cover them lightly with a little bit of soil or compost, just basically just brush it over like that, and I'll do that all the way along and then just give it a good water. So happy gardening, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, it's free. And next to the subscribe button is a little bell. Press on the bell and select all, and that will notify you of any future videos that I do. Any comments or questions, put in the box below, and I hope you join me for the next round of planting and growing on our allotment. Until then, happy gardening, everybody. Bye.